Welcome back to Let's Binge. We're your hosts. I'm Carmie.
I'm Keilee.
We're back.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks. What a crazy couple weeks that it's been.
Yeah, we were sick.
Uh-huh.
And then I've been trying to figure out life. You've been trying to figure out life. And it's fine.
It's life.
So we left off last episode on episode 6 of season 2.
Yes.
So we're picking up on episode 7.
Yeah.
To be honest, since it's been so long.
Oh, I was looking over it earlier and I was like,
yeah.
Well, here we are.
We're gonna remember it together. So let's just jump on in. Episode 7, season 2 is called Restraint.
Scott deals with new restrictions as he tries to learn more about the Kanema, and Lydia puts the pieces together about her bite.
So this episode starts
with Scott.
With Scott?
Not with Scott.
I was like, oh, did we watch the same episode?
No, we didn't. With Sean getting killed by the Kanema.
And Sean is just some rando.
Who gets a name?
Yeah. But nobody else in the show gets a name. Long-term characters don't get a name. Yeah. Camper couple Sean gets murdered by
said Kanema.
And his
goes for the girlfriend.
Yeah. Girlfriend, wife, significant other of some kind. But the Kanema does not kill her.
Because she is pregnant.
And then it cuts to Scott, Stiles, and Allison talking on the phone. Thinking that Jackson does not remember when he turns into the Kanema.
Yes.
So he doesn't know what he's doing or what he is.
Yeah.
And then they're at the police station.
Mm-hmm. And we find out that Jackson has ordered a restraining order against Scott and Stiles.
Mm-hmm.
And they are not allowed to be within 50 feet of Jackson.
Correct. And Scott is really trying to argue this.
Stiles.
Not Scott, Stiles. Stiles is really trying to argue this.
And then Melissa kind of pulls Scott aside.
Yep.
Really upset.
Mm-hmm.
Really frustrated.
Trying to punish Scott.
Upset, knowing something's up with him.
Yeah.
And she's trying to ground him, and she's like,
No TV.
My TV's
broken.
No computer.
I need a computer. School.
Yeah, I need it for school. Then, no, Stiles.
No Stiles.
No Stiles. What? No Stiles? No Stiles! And then Stiles backs away from Melissa.
So Stiles is Scott's punishment.
Mm-hmm. And then Scott thinks about telling his mom in that moment what's really going on. And Stiles is
in the background. No. Which is funny because in the last episode at the end, they were running to the police station to tell Sheriff and Melissa what was actually going on. At least the
sheriff.
And it was really sad. I noted that Melissa thinks that he's acting strange because of his dad.
And Stiles in the background.
Freaking Stiles.
Everybody's like super upset, and then just Stiles in the background.
Yeah.
Yes! Go for it.
And then we go to Derek, and he's talking to, I can't remember who he's talking to. I don't know if it's Isaac or
it's one of his betas.
Erica. Yeah, one of the betas. And he says that
he needs to find the Kanema.
Yeah. But he makes it sound as if he doesn't know who it is.
I think at this point, I think he has a big suspicion.
Yeah.
But not fully confirmed it.
Well, and I thought that he would have known, and the betas would have known, because they were standing there at the end of the last episode when Scott was like, "It's Jackson." So I don't know if he whispered or if... No, he can't whisper. Even if he whispers, Derek can hear him.
It's MTV.
Fucking MTV. Anyway.
And then Derek admits that he needs the help of Scott and Stiles.
Yes. And then
we flash to the library.
Yes, okay. I just have a quote from this one, and it's just anything evil. And it's from Stiles.
When he puts his head. Yes, I they are talking about Jackson and
Mhm.
everything, and having Allison follow him.
Mhm.
And
Scott's like, "Oh, be safe."
yeah, and then Styles pops his head through and look for anything evil.
Yes, and she just shoves his head back through the bookcase. So they're on
Yes,
separate aisles of the library because
there's
Scott and Allison can't be seen together, and
and
now
there's
there's
cameras.
cameras in the school
Hmm.
because Gerard is,
Now said principal.
yeah.
And Allison says, I don't know who she says this, like who she told, because I cannot remember for the life of
I
me.
know.
But so she tells them, she goes, yeah, oh, it was Lydia. She told Lydia that they are part of an online gaming
Yeah,
community that battles mythical creatures.
yeah.
And Styles goes, I
I
am
am.
part of an online gaming community that battles mystical creatures. And Allison just goes, oh,
Oh,
great.
great. I feel bad for Lydia in these few
I
episodes.
do too.
She has no idea what's going on.
I know the
She's
first two
the
seasons just kind of like sucked for Lydia.
yeah. I just feel bad for her. She's the last to know everything. I don't know why they won't tell her.
I
But
really don't either.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they don't trust her or something. But
I don't know.
anyway,
But then Allison says that Styles is right about the murders,
mhm,
and Styles is over in the background like, yes!
mhm. I
Fucking
know, and
Styles, man.
she starts to head off, and she tells Scott that she can take care of herself.
Hmm.
And then we cut to Jackson eating a snake. I was quite disturbed.
I wasn't a
Um,
fan.
no,
I was
no.
gagging.
Oh, I know. Just thinking about it, I'm like, please stop, please stop. So the snake goes all the way down his throat and just lives in his body now.
Yep. Hmm.
Um, and the poor teacher standing there, he's like, "Did you want to go over your paper?"
You still want to go over it? Then we
And
flash to Melissa
mhm,
straightening up Scott's
Scott's room.
room.
Yeah, she's trying to find anything in his room. Um, and she finds a
Box of
box of
condoms.
condoms.
A
What was like a
12
12
pack,
pack, and
and
there's
there was
one
one
left.
left.
Yeah.
I know I wrote that down. I was like, one condom left in a 12 pack.
Yeah. I think this is when she finds out that Scott and Allison are still. She has a
Doing the
suspicion.
deed.
Yes, she has a suspicion that they're still together. And then we go to Scott, and he has to do a makeup test.
Yes.
Allison, so it's like flashing. So Scott's
As
doing the makeup
always.
test always. Allison's following Jackson.
Yes, Allison's starting to follow Jackson now.
Jackson's going into the
Locker room.
locker room.
Allison gets stopped by camera guy,
Yep. And he wants to take her to some rave
and she agrees to go on a
date.
date with
Yep.
him.
And then
And we skip, and Styles is trying to find out about Jackson's parents
from Erica.
from Lydia first.
Oh, Lydia first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's trying to figure out because they dated.
Oh, that's right.
So he's like, what do you know? And she's like, oh, I know, but you don't get to know.
Yeah. And then we flash from them to Jackson being weird and naked in
The shower.
the shower.
Mm-hmm. And then we find out Erica knows
Yep.
about Jackson's parents.
And then
A great line. You want to play Catwoman? I'll be your Batman.
yes. Yes.
And we find out his parents are dead.
Deceased. They have died. And
How?
then
We don't know.
yeah.
They just died.
And then
Scott hears Allison's
scream
heartbeat
or heartbeat. Yes, that's right. She
while
does not
he's
scream.
taking the test.
So then he just quickly finishes. Probably doesn't pass.
I don't
I'm
think
not sure.
Yeah.
Well, he
Oh yeah. He rushes because
hand it to Harris without it being finished, and he said no, finish it, and so he just filled in a bunch of circles, and then ran to the locker room.
Mm-hmm. And we find out Erica figures out it's Jackson who's the Kanema.
Yep. Tons of school damage in the locker room, once again.
Yeah. Jackson calls Allison the stupidest bitch in town.
Yep.
Then proceeds to call Scott a stupid bitch as well.
Yep. There's a lot of stupid bitchery happening.
And he's like full on like yelling at Allison.
Yeah. And then when Scott busts in, Jackson like
Snaps
snaps
back.
out of it, puts pants on, but Scott fights him anyway.
Yeah, and Jackson goes, I have a restraining order!
As if that matters.
And Scott goes, trust me, I restrained myself.
And then they bust through the door.
Because they're like full on like,
Yep.
ba-doo, ba-doo.
Harris is now in the hallway, and camera guy, Erica, Jackson, Allison, and Styles all
are all in there.
all get detention.
Between those two areas, we find out that Erica has had a crush on Styles.
Yep.
Since like the 6th grade or something.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
So it's kind of like Styles and Lydia's relationship. He's been in love with her for so long, but
Erica's been in love with Styles,
yes.
and it's kind of
unfortunate for Styles.
I know. If I feel like the old Erica and him would have been
Would have
great.
been so cute.
They would have been so cute together.
Yeah.
Now she's like a bitch, and we love it, but like,
camera guy finds
Allison's tablet.
Yes.
Oh, actually, before we go there, I just wanted to bring up that I thought it was funny that Erica was the one who was holding Jackson back.
Yes.
I just laughed a little.
And then we flash to
blue-eyed guy.
Melissa going to talk to Allison's mom.
Yes.
And Allison's mom is just a horrid bitch. She says something to her about, well, it might be some other floozy or some other easy girl or something like that. And no. Just your daughter. And then we go to Lydia and blue-eyed guy.
Yeah, he's hanging around her a bit more.
Yep.
And then we flash to the library again.
Yes.
It's a big part. Yeah, it's a big part of this episode, the library.
Yeah. I said it was Breakfast Club style.
Yes, it was. But Scott McCall the murderer is back. Yeah. He wants to kill Jackson.
Yep. Always.
Oh,
what did is this where we find out what camera guy's name is because Styles hates him. His name is Matt.
I said camera guy's name is dropped. It's Matt, and Matt is evil.
And it's because Styles doesn't like his face.
No.
So that's how we find out Matt's name.
Yep. And then Jackson gets all icky-sicky.
Yeah, and then Mr. Harris is like, oh, Jackson.
Let me bring you.
I love you, Jackson.
Let me carry you on my back.
I know.
To the bathroom. Let me carry you. Let me parade you around.
And so I put a question mark to if Harris is Jackson or the Canima's master.
Yes.
And then this is when we find out that Jackson's parents died in a car crash.
Yeah.
Erica, was she doing research or something?
No, her dad was the insurance.
That's right.
Worked on the insurance for the accident.
That's right.
But then we flash to Jackson in the locker room, and the snake comes out his eyeball.
So gross.
We find out Lydia lost the flower that blue-eyed guy gave him.
She's looking for the flower because they have a date.
And her house is the most gorgeous house I have ever seen.
Yeah. Scott gets called to the principal's office.
We find out that Jackson's parents died on his birthday.
Yeah, so depressing.
Yeah, that's a little sad. Mrs. Argent and Scott.
Yep.
She's super subtle about everything.
Yeah, she asks him if him and Allison are having sex, and he's like, no. Never
even seen her in my life. I don't know who that is.
She's just sitting there sharpening some pencils.
Just the one.
All the way to the eraser.
And then we flash to Lydia walking through the woods barefoot. And Lydia's hair in this scene
looks so good.
It is so pretty.
She just keeps getting like prettier as the episodes go on.
And it makes me so upset.
I know.
Because I want to be that pretty. I want Lydia's hair.
Yeah.
Like, just be able to do the style.
I know.
I try and, like, just wave it a little. It's flat
like,
within the hour. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
And then she enters an abandoned mansion.
It's an empty house. It looks like it's been sitting there for quite a while. It's not as destroyed as Derek's house.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's not great.
Then Mr. Harris decides he's gonna leave.
And they are to stay there and stack books or put books back.
And it goes to the back of his car on an Einstein quote.
Yep.
And it says, "Imagination is more important than knowledge."
And this is the same car, bumper sticker, whatever, that we saw when the Kanema,
touched it with his hand.
Yeah. So, is Mr. Harris the Kanema's master?
We will never know.
I mean, we'll find out eventually.
No. We find out that he was born from a C-section after his mom died.
He died, yeah. Yeah, basically, his whole beginning of his life was fucked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway.
So then he starts seeing his names on books, and it keeps telling him, "Close your eyes. Close your eyes."
Yeah.
So Jackson paralyzed Matt.
Yeah.
And then he's jumping around on
More
top of the
damage.
shelves. Yes, breaking all these lights. And then he paralyzes Erica. And then he starts, like, scratching onto the chalkboard.
Well, and Erica starts having a seizure after he paralyzes her, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out. They want to get her to the hospital. She's saying, "No, take me to Derek." What did Jackson write on the chalkboard?
It said, "Stay out of my way or I'll kill all of you." His death note to them.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Good stuff. And then he bunny hops out the window.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, Scott, Styles is like, "We need to bring Erica to the hospital." She's like, "We need to go to Derek." And Scott's like, "But Allison."
Yeah, because Allison stays to help
Matt.
And I keep wanting to call him camera guy now.
I know, right? And then we flash to Blue-Eyed Guy and Lydia, and we found out he lived in the mansion.
Yeah, this is when I start getting a little bit of a bad vibe.
Okay.
Like, why are you living
it was
in an
really
empty
creepy.
house?
I don't know, it was just creepy.
Where are your parents?
And then and then we see them start to kiss.
Yep. They have a nice, lovely kiss.
And Blue-Eye Guy transfers into Peter.
So Peter's alive, but
not
in her brain.
Yeah, but we find that out later.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
We
found that at the end of the episode.
Yeah, so turns into Peter. I don't
know. It was weird. Then we flash to Derek and Erica and Scott and Styles. Derek breaks Erica's arm to trigger the healing process.
Yep. And Styles is comforting her.
And Erica says, "Styles, you make a good Batman."
Oh, so cute. And then Scott agrees to join Derek's pack. And then we go to the hospital.
Yes. And we also find out that the Kanema, well, at least we suspect he didn't kill the pregnant women.
Yep.
The pregnant woman because she was pregnant.
Yes. Now knowing all of his mom, his birth mom's past or whatever, I think that's why he didn't. So then the master
killed her.
Comes back after she gave birth first.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know.
So the master comes back and kills the pregnant or not pregnant anymore wife or partner of Sean. She doesn't get a name, I don't think.
She did. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But then we find out, then we flash back to Peter and Lydia. And I said he's being creepy with teenagers again.
Always. So is Derek.
And
what's up with the Hales?
I don't know. Then we fully find out the Blue-Eyed Guy has been Peter the whole time.
Yep.
And that Peter is calling Lydia through his thoughts. parts.
Yes. So he's still technically
Dead.
dead under the house, but he's not fully dead, so he can get into Lydia's mind.
I want to know who put him under the house.
I'm assuming Derek.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just like, he like died outside the house, and then like the wood was like covering it and everything.
Yeah.
And he was just like,
So I'm
"Ooh."
assuming that it was him, Derek, because the hunters wouldn't have buried him. They would have
No.
burned him alive.
Yeah.
Or not alive, I guess he was dead, but
Yeah.
so I don't know.
I
But
don't
that
know.
was the end of episode 7. That feels like a whole season of a show.
Yeah.
These episodes are insane.
I know, there's been it's so long.
Okay, so episode 8 is called Raving.
All eyes are on Jackson as Scott and Styles team up with Derek to eliminate the Kanema. But the Argent Hunters aren't far behind.
Spooky.
So they're they're in a line at the rave,
Yeah.
trying to get the tickets.
So we see, who do we see first?
Jackson and Matt.
Okay. So Jackson
Matt.
gets a text. Then he gets in his car, then he drives to the rave place. He sees Matt, and Matt is terrified.
Yes.
Because I think Jackson's in like the trance that he was in when he was like screaming at Allison.
Yes, and so I think Matt thought that he had punched him or something. Knocked him out.
Yeah. So
And so he was like, "You don't need to punch me again. We're good."
Yeah, we're fine. You can cut. Please feel free. And then we see Scott like stalking Jackson.
Yes. And then we flash to Styles trying to take care of his dad
with a veggie burger. So cute.
And then we also find out that everybody that has been killed is 24.
Yeah, so all
other than Mr. Leahy.
Yes. So all the kids are related, or all the kills, not kids, all the kills are related.
Mm-hmm.
They're all 24-year-olds. They were all in the same class at Beacon Hills.
Yes.
Class of 2006, I think is what they said. And they were all in Mr. Harris's class?
Yes, all in Mr. Harris's class.
See, that dude's got problems.
That dude has hella problems.
Mm-hmm.
Then we flash to Scott and Matt, and he asks how much the tickets were.
Yeah.
And Matt goes, $75. And Scott goes, "Can I borrow some money?" And Matt goes, How much? $75.
And Matt's like, no.
We're done.
Fuck off. I just thought it was funny that Scott asked Matt for money because none of them really seemed to be friends with him.
Yeah, he just kind of like exists.
Yeah. And Allison like is trying to be nice to him. I think Scott's trying to be nice-ish. But Styles hates him.
Styles full on just hates his face.
Yeah. Jackson is not nice to anybody. So he's just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
So then we flash back to Scott.
Yep.
And we find out, so he is at the vet.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that he trusts Isaac, but not Derek.
Yep.
And Dr. D says, so Isaac goes, "What are you, some kind of witch?" And Dr. D goes, No, I'm a veterinarian.
I put stupid Isaac.
Isaac is stupid. But I love him anyway. We found out the master is scared of water.
Yeah. So, wait.
Wait.
So, the hunters are looking into the Kanema killings.
Yes.
This is when Chris, was it Chris or Gerard? He said something about how there's 2 killers, one human and one Kanema.
I think that was Gerard.
Okay, so Gerard's a smartass all the time.
Yep.
And then Chris starts like screaming at Allison and blaming her for the murders because he knows that she knows something.
Yeah, and she won't tell him.
Yeah. Yes, and then you were saying that we found out that
the master is scared of water.
Yeah, if something affects the Kanema, that means that it affects the master. Or
yes. No. if the master is afraid, it affects the Kanama.
Yes.
And then we flash to Scott and Styles walking to school, and they run into Matt.
Styles does not like Matt.
Styles hates Matt.
And I don't know why. I don't.
And Matt's talking to him about his little bump on his head. And Styles goes, your little bump on the head is about this high on our list of problems right now.
Yeah, that was hilarious. And then
flashes to the locker room.
Styles and Coach. I have a little heart.
Yes.
I love them.
And Coach is like, Styles, do you know where Jackson's been? Because he's looking for him. And Styles goes, sorry, Coach, I haven't seen him since the last time I saw him. And Coach goes, oh, and when was that? Last time I saw him?
Last time I saw him.
The last time I saw him was definitely the time I saw him last. And then Isaac, oh my god, I couldn't think of his name for a minute. And then Isaac was going to help Scott and Styles get tickets to the rave.
Yeah,
because it's sold out.
Yeah, so he stole tickets from 2 other players.
And Styles' commentary throughout the whole thing, yep, that's excessive. That'll bruise. Wow, okay.
Yeah. But Isaac's kind of a bully.
Isaac is a bully, but we love him.
Yeah. He's aight.
He's aight.
I put a little side note in here. I know that Greenberg hasn't been mentioned in this episode. I don't know if he does or not. I don't think
so.
he is. But I put a note in here that Coach is the only one that addresses Greenberg.
Yes.
Nobody else says his name. It's always Coach, which I thought was interesting. It just, the locker room scene made me think of it. And so I wrote it down. But anyway.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Allison and Scott go meet up, and
she tells him about her little date with Matt.
Yeah. And
he tells her to kiss Matt to make it look like to her parents that they are over.
Yes. And then there is this very awkward and uncomfortable kissing scene between Allison and Scott.
And he's like, don't do that.
Don't do that. And I was like, ew. Stop it.
And then I noticed that Allison didn't say I love you back to Scott when he
left.
And then Mrs. fucking Argent over here, like, crazy eyes.
She's so weird.
Watching them, like,
she's so weird and so uncomfortable.
And then I just kind of picked this up because I thought it was funny. So Dylan O'Brien and Tyler Posey are both 5'10".
Yeah.
But the way it was shot at the vet,
Styles looks so
tall.
Yeah. So much taller.
And I was like,
Scott.
I had to like look up their height too because I was like, I swore they were the same height.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pay attention in the next few episodes because I feel like they make Styles look taller than Scott in a lot of scenes.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to look into that.
Yeah. Because now I'm thinking about it, Scott always looks shorter than Styles.
Just a little. And I think that's so funny that they're the same height.
Yeah. Interesting. We'll have to pay attention to that.
Yeah. Hunters are off to kill the Kanama.
So, yes. And then
we find out
Scott and Styles, I don't know if Isaac's there or not, but they're at the vet. And they're trying to come up with a plan to capture Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And Styles gets a job. And he's not happy about this job. He has to place the Mountain Ash around the building.
Yes.
I can't really remember what their whole plan was.
I remember.
Okay.
But so before we even get to the plan, because we're not there yet, we find out that Sheriff Stilinski has been fired because of Styles.
No gun, no badge.
No gun, no badge.
And Styles feels really shitty and asks him why he's not yelling at him. And the sheriff said, I already feel like crap. It's going to make me feel even worse to sit here and yell at my son or something like that. And it made me so sad.
Yeah.
So Sheriff Stilinski no longer has a job.
Yeah. So as sad as that is.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Back to the plan. So Isaac and Erica show up to help with the plan, which is spot on for them. Good for them. Woohoo. So the plan is, at least I assume, because they don't fully go over the plan, but it's to because no supernatural creature can cross Mountain Ash.
Mm-hmm.
They are spreading the Mountain Ash around the building
Mm-hmm.
to trap Jackson inside the building.
Yeah.
And to do what? Who knows? But they're trying to like put I have it written down here somewhere, ketamine in him.
Yes.
To make him like drowsy or whatever.
Yep.
Okay. And then so they're there. They show up.
Yes.
At the place, and Scott sees Miss Allison there with Mr. Matt.
Mm-hmm. He's not too pleased.
No, and
but
they
also,
start fighting.
Yeah, which is, you're the one who told her to do this. She didn't need to.
It wasn't that. It was that it's her whole thing about how she can protect herself.
Yeah.
But Scott was like, no, you gotta leave. And she was like, I got it, boo. Like,
yeah.
I hated that. Please take that out.
No, that's David.
No.
Scott's mad at Allison because she refuses to do anything that he says, which honestly, she refuses to do anything that anybody says, whether it's right or wrong, what they're telling her to do.
Yeah.
She refuses. I'm a strong, independent woman.
Fuck
Fine,
you, Allison.
But like also, there's all these people that are trying to make sure that you stay alive.
Yes.
You have like barely any training. Like, no, ma'am, you're not invincible.
You're gonna die.
And then I put Gerard as weird, but that's because he like does that weird smile at Derek and Boyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even just right before then, I found it super cute because Scott said he doesn't want Isaac to get hurt.
And I have that after Gerard.
Well, Gerard shows up.
Yeah.
And
he's all weird and has a weird smile. And then
and
Scott and Isaac Scott was like, I don't want you to die, or I don't want you to get killed or something.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then we flash to the hunter shooting at Boyd and Derek, and Boyd just looks like he wants to leave so bad.
Yeah. So I have so it bounces back and forth again.
As always.
The show really needs to chill.
Yeah.
Hunters versus werewolves. Werewolves versus the Kanima. And Styles doing his job.
Yeah. And then it flashes to Erica and Isaac getting up and grinding with Jackson. To try and distract him.
With him, which I was like, oh.
I kind of enjoyed it. It was fun.
Yeah. I just didn't expect that to be their way of like.
No, I didn't either, but I was kind of like,
put a sack over his head and drug him.
And then Jackson full on like whoop into the both of them when I was like, okay.
Yeah. So they got a little stabby stab. But they didn't get paralyzed.
No.
So that's good. And then Isaac's like, fuck you. And he stabs him in the neck and gives him the ketamine.
Yes. And then we flash to Miss Argent hitting Scott with a car.
Oopsie.
And then
she looks like she really cared.
Yeah. For that, like, principal's daughter, front desk lady bitch.
Yeah.
And then we see Mr. Harris is here as well.
Yeah, Harris is at the club, super weird. He's like, what? She's 21.
Yeah.
It's like, the fact that you had to say that.
I know, it's like, dude.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Harris. And I hated him without his glasses on.
Yeah. I mean, he's already weird. We don't need to divulge into it too far.
No.
Then we see that Styles finishes his job out of some sort of miracle.
Yes, he just had to believe or whatever. I can't remember what Dr. D told him.
I don't know.
He said something about you just have to trust it or believe in it or whatever.
I thought you were gonna like full on Peter Pan that shit. Just gotta believe.
No, but remember he like closed his eyes and walked. And
I can't
remember what he was saying to himself, but
yeah, I just the way you said it, I was like, know. Peter Pan already?
Yes, he Peter Panned himself. And then
Mrs. Argent is trying to kill Scott, and she said she's gonna cover it up by saying he had an asthma attack.
Yep.
And that brought me to think that brought up a thought of mine
Uh-huh.
of how Melissa didn't notice that Scott didn't need his inhaler anymore.
Yeah, that's true. Because he used it once when he had the panic attack,
Mm-hmm.
and then Styles used it,
Yeah.
and we haven't heard of it since. I think that it'll pop up every once in a while, and this is an example of the asthma being brought up, but yeah, no, because you'd think that she would be the one refilling his prescription.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that she hasn't noticed, but maybe she's too focused on why are you so weird right now, son?
Yeah. I don't know.
So, and then
Jackson's eyes.
yes, Styles, Isaac, and Erica capture him and put him into some room. I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like it's on the roof or something. Um, and oh, what did Styles say? It was super funny. They were trying to like wake Jackson up or get him to talk or something, but basically his master starts talking from him.
Yeah.
And says something about getting revenge on all of them, and nobody knows what the hell what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then he starts breaking out of his restraints.
Yeah.
Oh, it was the ketamine. He was like, "Give him more ketamine," and Isaac was like, "Yeah,
We're out of ketamine.
it's all gone. There's no more."
Yes. And then Gerard finds the mountain ash.
Mm-hmm. Did he do something to it? Why did he just looked at it?
Yeah, he just looked at it.
So I'm not quite sure what he was thinking.
I don't know.
It's never really explained.
No.
He's gross. We don't like Gerard.
Yeah. But then Styles, once Jackson breaks out of his restraints, he goes, "Okay, out, everybody out."
Yes. And then they were like, "Find something to barricade the door," and Jackson just fucking
goes through the wall.
And then we go to Allison and Matt, and
wait, before that, he so one of the things we didn't even mention that was an important part.
What?
Jackson was they were trying to protect one of the girls at the club. That's why they were all there. Oh, and he ends up killing her.
Yeah, the next victim on the list from the beginning of the episode when we found out that they were all 24, all in the graduating class. Yes. So Jackson was after. She was like the club promoter or something there at the rave. Yeah, so Jackson kills her.
Yeah.
And then, great job protecting her, guys.
Mm-hmm. And then we flash to Styles and Derek, and they're outside of the mountain ash. Mm-hmm. And Scott, and Erica and Isaac are stuck in there, and Scott roars.
Yep.
Wow. And
Derek's
like it's
concerned.
Like a sad, it's like a super sad moment and like super concerning. And then fucking Styles goes, "Oh my god, it's working. Oh, this is yes, I did something." And then Styles had to break it, and Derek went to save Scott.
Okay, but first Matt kisses Allison.
Oh yeah, that does happen.
And Allison was like, "Absolutely not. Do not touch me."
I tried to block that out of my memory.
Yeah. That was horrible and very
thanks for bringing that back.
You're welcome. Allison did not enjoy it, and I honestly think that not only she didn't like it just because she was with Scott. Like, I honestly think that he makes her uncomfortable. Fair, because he makes me uncomfortable. All last episode, I was like, "No, we love him. I love him," and now I'm like, "You just are a creep." Yeah. You're a creeper, and I don't know why.
So, the girl that's throat was slit, her name is Kara, and we get official confirmation that she has died.
Yep. And then Derek, here's Scott. Styles has to break the barrier to let Derek in to go save Scott. Mm-hmm. Like Derek tries to fight Allison's mom.
Yeah.
And then she scurries away. He saves him. Saves Scott. And then we see Dr. D
and
with the counselor.
And find out they know each other.
Yeah. Are they related or are they just buddies? Do we ever find that out?
We do find that out.
Okay. For a later time.
Yeah.
And then we find out that Derek has bit Allison's mom.
And we also know that Dr. D knows that something's coming.
Yes. And the counselor... yes.
Derek bit Mrs. Argent on said shoulder.
Yes. Yes. So far we've had the side.
Only the side.
The shoulder.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, now we know that
it's not just the side.
Yeah. But the counselor lady, one last note for this episode. Fuck, I lost my page. The counselor lady seems as though she wants to tell the kids more than Dr. D does.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why. So
you'll find out.
We'll find out more, but it's very interesting. But I knew she was sticking around for she just had that vibe.
She sticks around for a bit.
Yeah. So that's the end of episode 8.
And we're on to episode 9.
Party guest. Oh, one mention before we dive into this episode. So far in our podcast episode, for these 3 episodes, nobody mentioned the name of the episode.
They're also weird names, like, I don't know, it's just like hard to bring up.
Yeah. Like, I mean, so the names of these episodes make sense for like what they are. So like restraint, yes. It was,
restraining order.
Yep. And then
raving.
They were at a rave. And then this
party guest, they're at Lydia's party.
Yeah. So that, I guess that makes up for it, but I just thought it was interesting because it seemed like for a majority of the first season, somebody was always saying the name of the episode. So,
and I feel like they might continue that as long as it can be worded properly. If not, I think it's just going to connect to the episode very well. Are you looking at the future episodes?
Yeah, that nobody says it.
No, they say, I'm pretty sure the episode 10 is said. Episode 10 is definitely said. I don't remember by who. Episode 11 might have been said. And
no, because usually I would have written it down unless I just missed it, but
I don't know. I know whatever. Episode 10 was definitely said though.
Oh. So I just missed it, I guess. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. But anyway, episode 9 is called Party Guest. Guest. Like I guessed that, not guessed.
Okay. We're done. Strange things are afoot on the night of the full moon, as the guests at Lydia's party experience bizarre hallucinations, and Allison's parents make a difficult decision. Dun dun dun! Okay. So, another Lydia shower scene.
Always.
And someone's crying.
What?
Okay. So, Lydia's in the shower and it flashes to her on the lacrosse field.
Oh. I said Peter calls her name, then she travels to the game on the field.
My first notice was somebody was crying.
Yeah, I put that the girl was screaming. I don't think we could hear it, but we could see it in her face, so she was doing one of the...
No, it was definitely, you could see one of the girls crying.
Yeah.
And then there's a sign that says, everyone loves Lydia, and I was like, everyone does love Lydia.
Yeah. It takes a minute to love her, but once you do, you always do.
Yeah.
And then we find out that it's another Peter vision.
And I said Peter is everywhere in Lydia's mind, which is
so unfortunate.
And he is controlling her.
Yeah. So she kind of wakes up from this vision or nightmare or whatever. Uh-huh. Peter's sitting on the bed with her and she's asking, why are you doing this? And he says that she has to help him. He needs her help.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that can help him.
And we also find out that Wednesday is Lydia's birthday.
Yes. And Peter needs her to do something for him on her birthday. And then she, I think, fully wakes up.
Mm-hmm. Screaming, covered in blood.
Yes. So that's concerning.
Yeah.
And then we flash to, I think it's Gerard, Chris, and Allison's mom all talking about how we have to kill Allison's mom, because she was bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
Yes. Then we also find out that so Allison is dropping Matt off.
Yeah.
And we find out he's a super stalker freak.
Yeah, so she finds his camera on the floor of her car when he gets out. Also, what a bum. He doesn't have a car. But you have all this fancy ass camera equipment.
Right?
What are you doing? So Allison has to drop him off, and she finds first it's like pictures of like the lacrosse team
Yeah.
or whatever, and then it's just picture after picture after picture of her. So that's uncomfortable.
Yeah, just a little.
Oh, and then he goes to get it back, and his face is just like, I'm like, ooh, you're scary.
Yeah. Then we find out, then we see Boyd being super smart.
Mm-hmm. Why is he super smart?
Not a clue.
Okay.
But he was being really smart.
Okay, I'm glad. And then we go to Sheriff and Styles, and Styles still feels super bad about Sheriff losing his job, so
Mm-hmm.
he's trying to help him solve this case.
Yes, and we find out it's spring break.
Oh yeah, because he's like, I'm doing homework, and then Sheriff's like,
It's spring break.
it's spring break. So Sheriff wants him to stop, but Styles won't because it's Styles.
And we find out that everyone was on the swim team.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, and this is where we find out Mr. Leahy was the
Coach.
So
and
that's
his
why he
oldest son.
was 24.
And he
But was dead
died.
already.
He died in action.
Yes.
And
in duty.
in duty.
Combat. Something. He was in the military.
Yeah. But he was on the swim team as well.
Yes. And then
Lydia goes to Jackson to see if he'll come to her party.
Yes. Allison's the one that asks Lydia if Jackson's coming to her party.
Yeah.
I can't remember why. They're planning something. I think they're going to try and like capture him again or something.
No, they just wanted to keep an eye on him, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jackson was like, you don't want me there. Being all dramatic towards Lydia. And Lydia was like, I'll see you there.
Yep. And then we flash to the birthday.
Yep.
And we see Styles has Lydia's present. And it's the biggest box.
I don't know how you can't love the Styles.
I know, and it makes me upset because it was pointed out that Styles is not on Lydia's radar. And I was like,
I know. And then
nobody came to her party.
Yeah.
So
we found women stronger than men.
What?
Oh, Derek's trying to lock up his.
Oh, yes.
Pack.
Mm-hmm.
And Isaac asked him why Erica got the like brain or the head thing.
Yeah.
And Derek was like, because women are stronger than men, or like have a higher pain tolerance or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, I have one for you if you want it. And Isaac was like,
I'm good.
Thanks.
Yeah. But even before that, so we find out that Styles calls his friends to hook up Lydia's party.
Yes.
And it's his friends from the club.
The gay club.
Yep.
So good. And then Jackson ends up showing up.
As no.
No?
It's a while before it's a minute before there's a hold on. Because okay. Scott, we found out Scott did something wrong with him and Allison.
Oh yeah, and Styles is like, go fucking apologize, you little bitch.
Scott goes, people are dying. I got my dad fired. You're gonna be held back in school. I'm in love with a nut job. And if on top of all that, I gotta watch you lose Allison to a stalker like Matt, I'm gonna stab myself in the face. And Scott goes, don't stab yourself in the face. And he goes, why? And he goes, Jackson's here.
Yeah. So Jackson shows up. I think Lydia's happy about it.
Yeah, I said that Jackson and Lydia are being friendly.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but...
And we find out...
Oh, yeah, the purple flowers are in the punch. And we just assume that's Wolfsbane.
Yeah. It's the only purple flowers we've seen.
Correct. I just realized. Go back to the last episode.
It was Wolfsbane.
Yeah, the flower that Peter
gave Lydia
Peter.
was Wolfsbane.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, then we go back to Derek and his pack.
And we find out that Boyd and Erica cannot control themselves whatsoever.
No. And isn't Isaac asking Derek how to control? So that's good. He wants to. I think this episode is where I start liking Isaac.
Yeah.
I think he wants to be a good werewolf. Whereas
I think I'll always have a soft spot in my heart for Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
And so, even just rewatching this season, because I remember when I first watched this show, I was like, I hate Isaac. He sucks.
Yeah, I hated him.
And then, but I was like, after watching it couple more times,
Mm-hmm.
even the second time I watched it, it was like I kind of fell in love with him a little.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love you, please don't ever leave.
Yeah.
And then so I think just rewatching it, I'm like, he can do no wrong for me.
Yeah, I think this is only the second time that I've ever watched Teen Wolf all the way through.
Yeah.
Because I haven't watched it since you and I watched it freshman year, which was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
We're old. Anyway.
So then we flash back to Lydia's party and we see her first dress change.
Yes. She got 3 dresses for this event. Yes.
And we find out Matt's at the party.
Ugh. So gross.
And he goes to talk to Allison. And she goes, door stay open.
Yes. And he's like,
and he was getting super defensive.
Yeah.
And then Allison sees herself.
Yes. Allison starts hallucinating.
And she shoots herself.
Yep. And then we go to Styles.
And he thinks he's ruining his dad's life.
Yeah, his dad's at the party, drunk. It's obviously a hallucination. He's drunk and he's telling Styles that you ruined my life, you killed your mom, this, that, and the other. So sad and depressing to watch.
I hate it.
But then he snaps out of it. It's a hallucination. And then we go to Scott.
Wait, no. We flash to Allison's mom.
Oh.
And I said it's the sweetest moment she will ever have, being like, I want to be in my daughter's bedroom because I couldn't have our last moments together.
Yeah. And then we go to Scott.
No, because it's Jackson then Scott.
Oh,
so no, it is Scott. It is Scott. Yeah, because Jackson and Allison are making out in front of Scott.
Yeah. So Scott hallucinates that Jackson is making out with Allison, and then Jackson turns into the Canema while they're still making out.
Yeah, it was real weird.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And then we see Jackson's real parents.
Oh my god, this was so sad. So Jackson's real parents show up and want to meet him or whatever, but they have no faces because he's never
met them.
And
then he has no face.
He has no face, and then I think Lydia's the one that snaps him out of it.
Yeah, something like that.
But this is where I wrote that Lydia drugged everyone.
Yeah.
After they've all been hallucinating, I'm like, oh, yeah, Lydia did that.
Yeah, and then we see Derek, and he's on the phone trying to call Scott, and he
panicking and shitting his pants.
Yeah, he goes, Scott, can you call me back? I'm probably going to need some help. Bang! Definitely gonna need some help.
So then Derek's having to fight off his entire pack by himself.
Well, at least Erica and Boyd, because Isaac dives through a window.
Yeah, Isaac just does a little roly-poly move and calls it a day.
And then we flash back to Scott and Styles.
Yeah.
And it is just Scott's trying to sober Styles up.
Yeah.
And he's trying to give him water.
Yeah.
And this one girl comes over. And Scott goes, you can do better. She goes, I can do best. And then dunks Styles into the water.
Yeah.
And then we flash back to Derek.
Oh, wait. What did Styles say? He was like,
oh, yes. I'm going to have to change my policy on not hitting
my policy on
not hitting girls.
And then
she goes like, he's sober. Yep. And then we flash back to Derek in the pack, And Isaac gets control and starts helping
Yes.
Derek. And I'm like,
Yes.
fuck
Yes. This is
yes!
where I was like, I can love Isaac for 5 minutes.
And then Mrs. Argent died.
Yeah, I'm gonna give her a name now. She apparently has had a name this whole time. I googled it after she died. It's Victoria.
You know what? It was probably said.
I don't think so though. Like maybe
I know it's said in the future.
maybe in the yeah.
She's shaking her head.
It's not. I swear to God. But
I know it's said in the future. I know it is because I know her name is Victoria.
Victoria. Yeah, I had to look it up, but then I was like, well, was it said in the first episode when Scott met her? Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I decided that she's dead and she deserves a name.
Yeah.
So Chris kills Victoria in Allison's bedroom. Highly disturbing.
Yeah. Then we flash back to Isaac and Derek, and we find out that Isaac's anchor is his father before he turned all abusive.
Yes.
Which is so sad.
What makes somebody just be abusive? Was it his mom?
I think it was his mom. Either his mom or his brother's death.
Yeah.
Because both are dead.
God, that sucks.
No, I think his mom left and his brother died.
Oh, okay.
So.
Jesus.
Yeah, poor Isaac, honestly.
Yeah, his life sucks.
And then I just wanted to point out, so Lydia shows up at Derek's place.
Yes.
And blows some mountain ash at him.
Yes.
Or not mountain ash.
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane, thank you. And I just thought it was so funny. You see him start to fall back, and then it flashes to him falling. Like, it looks like he's, like, stopped and then falls on his side. And I was like...
He's like, I'm not getting bruised today.
Yeah, like, he, like, full on just, like, laid down. And I was like, uh-huh.
And then Allison goes to the hospital.
Yeah, I said that her acting is top notch for this.
So good. This was the first time that I've cried so far.
Yeah.
I cried.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, Allison, I'm so sorry. I hated your mom, but I'm so sorry. It was so sad. Her crying, I was just like, oh, my heart. So, yeah, it made me cry.
I had no emotions for that whatsoever. I was just kind of like, good acting. Good for her.
Yeah, no, she did good. And then we go back to the party, and it's in hysterics.
And we find out Matt cannot swim, and Jackson saved him. And so I said, is Matt the master?
Yes, and that is then confirmed.
Yes.
So Matt is the Canima's master. Did not see that one coming.
I totally did because I've watched this before.
For sure. I just couldn't remember. I really honestly thought it was going to be Gerard or Harris.
Especially well, because Harris. They definitely... What?
You always have to suspect the non-suspected person. I knew it was Matt from the beginning. I watched it once.
I should have known, considering he came out of fucking nowhere.
I know, you're great at guessing TV.
I know. This one just caught me
threw you through a loop, I guess.
Yeah, it did.
And then I said Lydia is strong for pulling Derek all that way.
Yeah,
from his underground lair into his house. I was like, what the fuck?
But she's in like some kind of trance. I don't think she knows that she's doing it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what happens to Jackson, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, and then we
Derek, or not Derek.
Peter's alive.
Dug up.
Yeah.
And bites Derek.
Yeah, and it kind of looked like it took Derek's power.
Yeah, his eyes flickered.
And so maybe he took his power. And then Peter also is inviting himself to parties.
Yes.
No go for Peter.
No. Especially not a teenage party.
Yeah.
Fucking Peter. But Peter's alive. He's back.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to see how he is now that he's not the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because the first season he fucking was.
Yeah.
But this season he's not. So I'm very interested to see how his character develops. I think I'm gonna like Peter.
I think you are too. Okay, guys. So, little update.
Yes.
So we're gonna start doing 3 episodes instead of 6, so you can continue to keep up with us.
It'll be easier for you guys. It'll be easier for us,
as well as we can talk more and go into so much more in depth about everything about the episodes.
Whereas now it feels like it's a race to the finish line just to get all the information out. And we can't sit and have like an actual conversation about the episodes, and now
we can.
So that was season 2, episodes 7, 8, and 9.
Yes.
And then next episode
It's
will
going to be 10, 11, 12.
Yes. So let us know how you guys are enjoying it so far. If you guys are watching along. I mean, if you're not, and we put you to sleep, awesome.
I know we have for a few people.
Fine by me. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe. You can email us. Our email will be in the description.
Go check out our Instagram or our TikTok.
Yes.
They have little clips from the episodes.
Yep. So, and we will see you guys next week, hopefully.
Bye.
Bye.